welcome back to Brunch, Beauty, and Life podcast. Here's your host. I'm Connie.
And I'm Ashley, also known as Ro. You can call me that.
Make sure you're following us on all platforms, Brunch, Beauty, Life podcast. That's on IG, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe.
Yes, hit that subscribe button.
And all the Spotify platforms as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, so now that we're back, today's topic is takers and givers.
Yes. Givers and takers and givers, they are all one and the same.
That gives me chills. Takers and givers. Which one are you? Are you a taker or are you a giver? You know, the crazy thing about takers and givers, the ones that are takers, those be the main ones. I don't take, I give. But we ain't going to go there yet.
I'm both. I'm a giver and a taker.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to definitely give to you, but I'm also make sure that I can take. It should be reciprocal in that way, in relationships, with business, as well as with personal. Mm-hmm. You cannot, be effective if you're not, taking something from someone, but also pouring back and giving. So, I'm a giver and a taker.
Did you ever have a hard time becoming a taker? Like at any point where you're more of a giver and not a taker? And did you have to learn how to be equally as a taker?
Oh, yes, I was definitely a giver at first, giving a lot of myself. And then looking around and being like, I have nothing for myself. So I had to learn how to take, but it's a fine balance. And you have to be able to give and take, but make sure you're taking in the right way. Mm-hmm. You don't want to use someone. You don't want to make them feel abused and used, because no one likes to feel that, right?
Right.
So you want to make sure that you're, proportionately. I will say that I'm definitely still more of a giver, but I've learned how to be able to take and receive as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely more of a giver. And I still have my moments where I'm learning how to be more of I'm not going to say a taker, but more of a receiver. I was once told in business with my boss lady, hey, Miss Shirley, my boss lady back in the day, she was like, you got to have your hand open to receive. She was like, you can't always have your fist closed, because when you have your fist closed, you're putting yourself in a position where you're not able to receive. There are people that genuinely want to help you get to the next step, but if you're so prideful, or your ego, right?
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm gonna figure it out myself. I could do this myself, and you can't receive. So I've learned over the years, sometimes I have to open up my hand to be able to receive, because I can't do it all by myself.
Absolutely. And what I will say in that aspect with business is, I gave a lot. I feel, you correct me if I'm wrong, I gave a lot to Lucky You, but I also was a taker, and I took advantage of the knowledge and the experience and everything that you guys had to give to me. Not just, constantly just coming in and being a, glorified workhorse, because, and I didn't even feel like I was overworked. I felt like, you guys taught me grind. Because in this industry, you have to.
You keep it real. You was overworked.
Well, yes, but by choice. By choice. You never just was like, oh, I'm just going to throw somebody on your books, and then I'm just like, well, okay, I guess we'll work until 8 p.m. on Saturday.
Midnight.
But I definitely made sure to learn that balance, and, okay, I can give this, and I'm going to give. I gave my ideas. I gave, different topics, different meetings, and different energy, different, platforms of decorum, but I'm also taking from you guys the knowledge, the expansive knowledge that you guys had to give me. And I don't even think that y'all knew that I was taking. I mean, it was just gleaming off of everything that I saw from you guys, the professionalism, how you answer the phone, how you talk to clients, how you establish yourself with the clients. So in the same right, as well as I'm giving and bringing my own perspective, I made a cleaning chart and a cleaning checklist and made manuals and things of that nature. I also made sure to take with me the things that you guys gave me,
Right.
Having a Vagaro, having a booking site, to make sure that we're effective in that way. And I remember one day I was working and I was supposed to be there super late on a Saturday. And you took a look at my schedule and you were like, okay, so this is how you can make this work. You can move this person here because this is the end of her appointment. You can just go ahead. She's getting a treatment, throw that on and be able to continue. And I ended up having my day shorter. So I took that knowledge in. So I think it's a different framing of what being a taker is. Now, I guess maybe it could be perceived as more of a receiver, but, you know, I'm making sure I'm taking with me. You know, I took the knowledge of the products that you guys use. I took that. A lot of stuff is modeled within my business that you guys did give.
I think with the giving, a lot of people feel like I think when you give, sometimes you got to look at what you're gaining. You know, what you're gaining from whatever it is. In forms of business, especially in the salon industry, and we, you know, dabbled on commission a few episodes ago. A lot of people feel like, oh, I'm giving up my money. I'm giving up, you know, this percentage or whatever the case. But it's like, but look at what you're gaining in return. You gain the knowledge that you don't have to pay for. Right, but you also end up gaining more clientele to make up for what you thought you was gonna give up.
By the grace of God, they let me take them with me. So thank you. See,
that's that give and take. That's that give and take.
I took them with me to my business, and I didn't have to. So, you know, thank you, Connie. Thank you, Tika. Bless up. But yes, it's a balance, and I think that is. You know, when we talk about commission and we talk about all the things, you know, a lot of times you have people, they'll be like, well, I don't want to have to clean the bathrooms. I don't want to have to do these towels. I don't want to have to do this and that. But my position was always, they're giving me so much. I don't have clients. They have given me access to their clientele. I don't have towels. I don't have capes. I don't have drapes. I don't have combs. I don't have any of these things. They're providing all these things. It's nothing for me to clean a bathroom. There's nothing for me to do a load of laundry. There's nothing for me to go and do a store run because of what you're giving to me. But I also made sure to take advantage of the opportunity that was given to me. But that's a different form in the takers.
Yeah.
I think that there's sometimes people come in and they just want to take and absorb everything from you.
They don't want to do anything for you.
Yeah.
And in business, that is draining. It is very draining as a business owner when you're trying to pour into a stylist and they want to be poured into. You know, they want to take, but they don't want to do anything. Coming in with an attitude.
Oh yeah. And I just want to make it clear that when we talk about certain stuff and situations, I'm not talking about my stylist.
We are talking about
I'm talking about my experience at Lucky
years
with the many different stylists that have come in and out of that institution.
And not even just, you know, with that salon. I've been professionally, I've been in the industry since I was 16. So I've worked at a few different salons before I had my own salon, and even just witnessing it there, right? And you being poured into, and you come in with an attitude. I mean, where's the, hey, good morning, everybody? You know, it's like, good morning.
It's the ungratefulness.
Yeah, it comes off as being ungrateful.
It doesn't come off as being ungrateful. It is. It is ungrateful. I just would get frustrated, and you've heard my frustrations before, because I feel that you guys gave so much that the things that were being complained about is trivial.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't even, I've said this before, I cannot even begin to pay you guys back for the knowledge and things that I retain. So, again, it's nothing for me to clean a bathroom. It's nothing for me to sweep some floors, wipe down some chair bottoms, all those things. So I think when it goes into experiences and gaining those experiences for your business, it's not a problem with having a mentor or an apprentice or, you know, having someone that you can kind of bounce ideas off of and, you know, get things from. But you cannot be the only person taking in that relationship. You have to be willing to give in that relationship as well.
It has to be a balance.
It has to be a balance.
It has to be a balance for it to work, because if not, then you're gonna get drained. You're gonna get tired. That's what they say when some stylists feel that burnout.
Oh yeah.
That's a part of burnout. When you're burnt out, it's probably because you've been doing too much giving, and you're not receiving, or being poured back into, and you literally just don't have the energy. You don't have the time. You don't want to put in the work to invest in. You just like.
Well, I think that the burnout happens if you don't understand what the grind is for. I think that at the beginning of starting a business or switching into a new career or switching into a new lane, there's a grind that it's unparalleled. You have to be willing to do what you can to make that work. So that means that there are long days, there's long nights. I looked at it as every person, every client was a potential new experience for me to grow and for me to get stronger in what I'm trying to do. And yes, I was tired. Yes, I was there a long time. I would be the first stylist in and the last stylist out. But that's what helped me grow into becoming the stylist that I am today.
It's about that vision.
Yeah, it's
because
the vision.
When you can see that vision where you're trying to go, you're going to grow into that vision. The grind, the hustle, the long days, the long nights, but you still find ways that goes into the self-care, right? Because even for our own personal self, outside of business, outside of relationships, we as an individual have to find ways to pour back into ourselves when we are doing so much giving. And when we find those ways to pour into ourselves, that keeps us going as well. Massages,
yes,
spa days, vacations. that all of that is a form of receiving. You're just doing it on your own accord. It's not coming from your stylist. It's not coming from the person that you're dating. This is coming from me to me.
Yeah, you have to take care of yourself. But I also feel that you also have to come in knowing yourself, knowing your vision, like you said, and also being humble. I feel like a lot of people going into new businesses, be it the salon, definitely in the salon industry, and other industries, is that they lack the humbleness of understanding that it does not matter that you're out here and your Instagram following is this amount of people, or that, supposedly and allegedly the block is hot for your name, that you have to come in ready to receive and ready to grow and understand that you really ain't that at this time. And I think a lot of people lack that humbleness. So then that's when they have the part where they're like, well, why am I giving her my commission? And why am I working that hard to give her my commission when I'm pulling in the clients. I'm here every day. I'm, basically they the David Ruffin.
But is that a millennial mindset though?
I don't think it's just a millennial, but it's definitely strong in the younger people. But I think it's a mixture of people. It's when you're pretentious, like we talked about in the last episode, where you think that these things are what make you, and so this is why you are hot and why you should be getting this and why you should be doing this and that and the third. And you are just the beginner rabbit here. You're learning, you're building. If you had the clientele already, you'd be out there on your own. Right. And I really strongly suggest go ahead and try it. Because I promise you, you will discover real fast you ain't that hot at all. That is really not that popping for you when you're back against the wall and bills got to get paid and things of that nature, and you took a chance because you didn't want to humble yourself and get the experience and get the growth and get the tenure from someone else in the industry that you could have. But no, I don't need no help. I don't need nobody to tell me nothing. I'm not about to give her my money. Da, da, da. I've heard it time and time again. Yeah. That people would be like, well, why, you working all that hard? Are you giving Tika and Connie your money? And I'm like, do you know what it's paying for? I went to a Sister Lock brand ambassador class, and they paid for the class. Wasn't cheap. And they also paid for our time there. Yeah. It's nothing for me to work hard. So it's about having that push and pull with the balance and being givers and takers. We have to have a good balance with the givers and takers when it comes to business. Yes, and to be humble.
Okay, so humble yourselves. What about relationships?
So recently I was told to humble myself.
Ooh.
And we have a guest, just so y'all know. Shar is here. Shar, go ahead and get on that mic. We have the male perspective.
Say what's up, Shar. Say what's up.
What's going on, y'all?
All right. He might chime in.
You know.
So you were told to humble yourself.
I was told to humble myself.
By who?
Okay, so I will admit that when I met this young man, I was definitely broken during that time. And so being broken, I met a broken man.
So when you say during that time, what was your age, around about age when you met this man?
I was about, I want to say 32, 33, like basically starting this journey.
So about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, just so our audience can have the contents of this. Okay.
Yes. So, I was, transitioning in a huge transition. Early 30s, turning 30 was a definite hard transition. So I just, I met him. I was broken. He's broken. Mm-hmm. So now we are years past. I have grown. I am no longer broken, and I am just wonderful in my worth. Okay. But he told me that I'm not special. I have to prove myself just like everybody else, and that I need to humble myself because I'm almost 40 and I'm single.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, that comes from a place of insecurities within himself. Pretty much, he just kind of testing you to see where your self-esteem is, to see, well, how's she going to take this? Is she's going, because some women will be like, oh, okay, and then they'll begin to try to work and try to impress him without even knowing who he is. At this point, you only got a picture and a couple words, so now they're trying to be this person for him, not even knowing what type of guy he is, but he's saying, okay, I know where her self-esteem is at because I just threw that out there, and now she's already trying to impress me without even knowing the real me. I had said something one time like, just people in general, but mainly for women, like you got to judge a man by his character, not the character. Because we're gonna, a lot of them gonna give you, we're gonna give you a character, but you gotta know the actually, like, how is he when nobody's looking? How is he when he's facing adversities and challenges and things like that? So, but off the gate, you just may get the character.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm proud to say that I'm no longer that broken woman and that I've worked on myself and grown in my self-worth and my healing. But all I could think about that really upset me in those messages that he sent me was, what if my self-esteem wasn't where it is right now? What if my self-worth wasn't there? He could have really hurt me and broken me. Mm-hmm. And I just really want us as a collective, Black men, Black women, our goal is to have strong fortitude in our families so that we can build the generational wealth, so that we can break the generational curses, so that we can be great. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to do that if we're continuing to go out here and actively hurt people. Right. And, what does that humbleness mean? Because when I was explaining to him, I am humbled. I feel that everything I have, God has given me, so I don't take ownership. Mm-hmm. He then challenged me and was like, oh, nobody's going to see that from them pictures. I said nothing about my looks. I said nothing about my pictures. I'm talking about the humbleness inside. So
that's what you get to know a person for.
Yeah, and I felt like, well, no, I already told him before, you don't like me, but then it was like a aha. He does not like me because he doesn't know me, mm-hmm. but he also doesn't know me now.
Right, he knew you then.
He knew me then, He remembered me different, but he didn't know me now. And I'm going to introduce.
Allow her to reintroduce herself.
My name is Ro, okay? But I really want us to get to a point where we're not out here just taking from people and bringing people down. This is a time really for us to band together. We have new legislation from the Supreme Court where they're, doing things as canceling out affirmative action. This is our time to band together as a community to see what can we do. Okay, we can't have that in those schools. Well, how do we build up our own schools so that they become the Harvards, so they become the Yales, so that we don't need them?
Ooh, honey, that's a whole nother conversation about coming together so that we could grow together and go far together. That's a whole nother topic. Ooh.
That is a whole nother topic, and I can't wait to get to that. But I just want us to get to a point where we stop hurting each other and not coming to each other with just the hand out.
So how do
and not the hand to reach up and pull someone up to.
How do you spot the takers when you're such a giver? You know how, because you don't want to not be authentically you, right?
Mhm.
So when you're talking or dating someone, how do you spot out if this is someone that's going to reciprocate, give back,
Mhm.
or versus the ones that's just looking to take to
I
see what
think
they can get.
It starts with you knowing and loving yourself.
Okay.
Because in order for you to be a really good giver, that means all your needs need to be met.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you're not about to give someone something when you still are without. Right? If you're depleted, you can't give
True.
appropriately. So that's how you will be able to spot it. When your needs are well taken care of, that, I'm taking care of myself, my self-care is on point, my finances are on point, I'm good, I'm good on my own, then your cup is full to give to someone else. But again, like we talked about in that intuition episode, because your cup is full, it's allowing you to really see what's going on out there. Mm-hmm. So then you're able to spot them.
So if you're dealing with someone, if you're coming into this with a full cup,
mm-hmm.
You talk about your self-love for yourself, your finances, and all the other categories to follow that fills into your cup. If your cup starts getting empty, and empty, to the point where you're getting down to them drops, mm-hmm. that's how you can tell that you're dealing with a taker, because
Absolutely.
You're not receiving to pour back into your cup.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I realized that if your cup is starting to feel empty and you're not home, your house is not taken care of, mm-hmm. the things that you need your cup to be poured into, your affection, your time, mm-hmm. your acts of service, your gifts, things of that nature, if that's not being, you're feeling that depletion is gone, when before you met this person, you was at a nice little full cup, mm-hmm. you were taking yourself out on dates, you were getting the massages, the manicures, the pedicures, you were going to go, maybe blow a bag. Some people go to South Park. I go to Concord Mills and the Outlet and spend it at the Kate Spade outlet store. But whatever that thing is for you, if you're noticing you're not doing that anymore, mm-hmm. but yet this person is receiving all the things that you used to do for yourself, but they're not placing that back into your life.
So would that not be considered more like going into a toxic relationship?
Oh, yes. Yeah. And it's easy to do that when you're constantly giving. So I think a lot of people were giving as like a badge of honor. I'm a giver. I give. But what about you? Mm-hmm. Are you giving to yourself in the same time?
But some people don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Some people don't know. Like I grew up with my father. My father was in my life. But I wish we had more conversations as to, Connie, as a woman, this is how you're supposed to be treated. Right? Because I didn't get those conversations from him. And like in my early years, I dealt with toxic women when I was in relationships with women, and I dealt with toxic men when I was in a relationship with men. And it was just kind of crazy. I can remember I had talked to this one guy, and if I didn't answer my phone, I could be at work, I could be shampooing some hair. Can't answer my phone while I'm at work shampooing hair.
Cannot.
By the time I got to my phone, I had 50 missed calls, about 10 text messages, voicemails talking about, oh, you a piece of sugar honey iced tea, da-da-da-da, you a hoe, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dang, right? Now, if I had known better, that would have been the end of him, right? But I didn't know better. It came off like, oh, he's like really concerned. He really care about me. And like, he wouldn't let me go. And toxic people will leech on. Yeah,
they do.
And to go through that, I went through that for a couple of years, and that just that cycle, and I had to really get one with myself to like understand, like, hey, you know what? No, this isn't right. This isn't how it's supposed to go. And we almost got married. Like he had proposed. I broke up with him. I broke up with him. I came home. I was like, I'm done. I broke up with him. I got home, and he had a ring. And it was like,
of course he did.
Oh my God, because
that's the pullback.
Yeah, but I didn't know that, right? I didn't know that. So, of course, I said yes. And so I'm like, I'm engaged, right? But then I can remember the ring, like it was too tight. I was like, and I asked him one day, I was like, can you go and get this ring resized? I was like, because it's a little bit too tight. And he was like, well, maybe if you lost some weight, it would fit better.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just like, wow.
It's,
Like, he said that to me.
one thing I hear a lot of women say, and it's usually a lot of, because again, weak men will prey off women with low self-esteem.
Oh, yes.
And this can be a weak man with nothing and a woman with everything. But if her self-esteem shot, she gonna feel like she has nothing, and she gonna feel like he's everything. So we'll prey off of that, and that was his point of saying that, because you can be in relationships, and it can go both ways. Because I was actually in a relationship where I felt like my self-esteem was shot, and I just felt like a bum. And the woman, the girl, we was younger, and probably late 20s, mid 20s. She had herself more together. But as I moved to Charlotte, actually, and I started getting myself on my feet, but she started like causing arguments, started saying little things to bring me back down.
Yeah, because that's where she wanted to keep
Yeah,
you.
so I'm saying, like, men will do that. Like, they'll feed off your self-esteem, but then as you start to better yourself, they'll continue to try to knock you down to get you back in that place. And what you said about leeches, like, it's good to know who you are and be in tune with yourself. Because talking about energy, giving and taking, once you're in tune, you'll know how to generate your own energy that you need.
Absolutely.
Some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people don't. And rather than trying to figure out how to do that, all they can do is take everybody else's. So a guy may come to Connie or Ashley or whoever and be like, she got her stuff together. And they'll tell you like, oh, I just like your vibe and this and that. And like, you make me feel like somebody. But at the same time, they're draining you because they don't know how to give it to themselves. And then you find yourself tired, like physically tired, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know how to motivate themselves. And then the moment that you can't, then that's when they start changing. The moment you say, look, I got to generate my own energy, which means go to yourself and do whatever you need to do. That's when it becomes a problem, because then their battery level starts going down, and they're like, you're not giving me no energy no more. Like, what's going on? So yeah, like,
you tell them no.
It's important to be in tune with yourself and knowing what helps you generate your own energy, and paying attention to your body, because your body will tell you like, okay, this is draining for me, and when I'm around this person, I'm not being replenished in any kind of way.
Exactly. So what I had different from you had a father that was there. Y'all just didn't have certain conversations. My father wasn't actively present with me. He was present in the best way that he knew how to be in his own thought process of parents, because he had a 2-parent household, so he knew better. But I did have strong male figures around me, and I saw how my uncle would treat myself and my family. He would put us, he would do anything for us. Definitely put me on a really great pedestal. I felt like a princess. But with my father, our relationship was toxic, and it was toxic in the way that we spoke to each other. He liked to spar with me because he was like, I'm the only one that could give it to him the way that he gives it. So that's why I said, in the words of, I would rather a guy I don't want nobody to call me that, actually, but I'd rather him come at me with the B and the H and this and that versus how I was spoken to when it came between me and my dad. So that's what I also received out there. And I feel that guys also played during that time on my insecurities. Because it wasn't necessarily that my self-esteem was bad, but I had a lot of insecurities.
Yeah,
and
that's the other one, insecurities.
He preyed on that. He preyed on the fact that, the girl that he liked had long, flowing hair and, with the little straight part, and she was constantly getting it silk pressed. And here I am starting locks, going through the short stages. I'm not banging as much as I am now, but I still was that girl. But he preyed upon those insecurities within me. I wasn't financially where I wanted to be. I was starting and transitioning into a new career. I didn't have the clientele. I was starting all over. Right. So he played right into that pocket. But now that I'm secure in that, I'm secure in who I am, and know that I've learned that my weaknesses that I thought were weaknesses are actually my strengths. Ooh. The strengths that I can get to the low point and bounce back constantly. That's a strength. Everybody doesn't have a good bounce back. So
No.
I now know that these things about me that I thought were weaknesses was actually God's way of making me stronger.
Right.
So he can't come at me in that way. And I feel that it's men and women who are both just out here hurting people for their own insecurities. And that's why we gotta, we gotta get healed. We have to get whole. We have to be able to generate our own energy, not just continuously being a taker.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in those instances, what are they taking? Like Char was saying, how she was trying to, put him down when he was on his way up. But what was she taking? She was taking his praise when he was down. When he was like, man, you such a great woman. You got this, you got that. I want to aspire to that. She was taking that as her build-up. But now that he was building himself up, she was like, oh, no, that's going to take away from my shine.
Yeah, when she could have looked at it as, no, let me give him his praise. Because, hey, if we praise each other...
then we grow together as a force. Two, like we said in the last podcast, two is always better than one.
Always better than one.
Always.
It's about to be in a team.
And I'm going to speak on that real quick because that was my situation when I met Sean. She, again, had her own house built, 6 figures, business, all that. Me, I'm working in the call center, barely making it. But she seen the real man within me. She seen the king within me.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't necessarily deplete herself, but she gave me just enough to let me know that she trusts me and trusts me as a man, and that she knows that I'm just not a bum.
Mm-hmm.
And it motivated me to want to do better. That whole iron sharpen iron,
exactly.
And I found I was able to find the voids that I could feel for her. It may not have been financial, but it may have been other things, or just being a man around. You know what I'm saying? And then once we started doing that and started really figuring out how to move together,
Mm-hmm.
We both continued to sharpen each other till we both were sharp. And then at that point, that's where you got the power couple. And you just make
you're untouchable.
And can I just say this, because a lot of people think it's all about the money and the finances.
So exactly. I was going to touch on that. Yeah.
You can be a giver and not necessarily be about the money, like in a relationship. So yeah, okay, we're in this era where women are doing a lot better than men, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's the thing. The women are more stable. They have businesses, entrepreneurs, may have their own house and all of this other stuff. And so when you look at that, I know a woman, I'm going to speak for myself. A woman like me, I'm not necessarily checking for the man that, oh, well, you got to make 6 figures or I can't talk to you. You got to be at this status or I can't talk to you. I don't care about that, because I've had those men, and those, sometimes they be some of the worst, right?
Oh, yes, they are.
Some of the worst. The most arrogant, just, anywho's. So
Jerks.
If I'm dealing with a man, right. So if I'm dealing with a man that may not be on my status, I'm not checking for his finances. As a woman, there are things that I don't want to do. I don't want to get out there and cut no grass.
Yep.
I don't want to get in the house and try to get a ladder and change these lights.
I don't want to clean the car.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to take my car to the automobile shop when there's something wrong with it. Those are things I just don't like to do as a woman. I feel like that, I hold that for my man. So there's other ways a man can contribute to the relationship outside of finances.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people need to understand that. Women too, because there are women, especially I would say maybe like with our mothers and their generation, if a man ain't doing this financially, if he can't pay this bill, he can't do this, then what you need him for? Yeah. We need to get away from that mindset. Now, of course, it's not always going to be like that. It might start off like that, right? But then when the finances start to shift, switch, he's coming up, he's getting himself together, things can always change.
Exactly. And I feel that they're saying that if you teach a man to fish, he'll never go hungry.
Facts.
So I don't need you to come in with the fish that you bought down from the market. You can't even fish.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can fish, that means that you have ambition, that you can grow, that we can grow together, that we can make these moves together. You have to drive, you have to strive, because, again, finances aren't everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's people out here making 6 figures with terrible financial acumen. They have no money saved. They are driving an Audi, but live in an apartment on the rough side of town to afford those Audi car payments. And don't come for me. You can come for me in them comments, but you know that y'all met them. So
listen, don't come for her. That's gonna be a whole nother episode.
well, you can come for me in the comments. I actually probably won't respond because I'm not.
It's gonna be a whole episode.
I don't need that. I mean, it's just the truth that just because a certain person makes a certain amount of money on their tax statements does not mean that they are actually worth that money. You know, there's different qualities that they may lack. Compassion, being able to come home and see that I'm tired. You might cook or do something like that, like make sure the clothes are done, make sure kids are taken care of. That's where you're helping to make me sharper. So then I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to pour into you, baby. You took such great care of me last week
fill out this
when my foot was hurting, when I was tired. You know, what can I do for you? What do you need for me to make you strong? What do you need for me to pour into you? And that's when the give and take becomes in that balance. But if you're constantly thinking about what you can get from this
Let me
man,
see what I can get from her. What can I get?
What
from
can I
him?
get from her? You know, how she gonna, you know, flew me out. I don't want to be flown out. You know what I want you to do? Be able to stand strong as a pillar beside me. I want a partner. So, you know, we have to reevaluate. We have to come back and stop hurting each other, grow together, build each other. I'm not saying for you to go pick that man up who don't have not a thought, vision, process.
Well, if he got a thought, vision, or process, can he get picked up then?
I mean, yes, but also with action. Because anybody can have a thought, a vision, a process, but there's no action behind it. If I don't see, again, that you are ready to go cast that line, that you're going to go fish, that you know what, I may not be where I want to, but every day I'm waking up trying to get there. Every day my mind is, I'm going to get there. You know, I'm going to be there for you. In the same way I'm going to get myself there, I'm going to be there for you. How can I help support you? Because you are our backbone right now. You got this money. Let's make sure you straight. If I see that, oh, yeah, I'm willing to work with you. I'm willing to make it happen. I'm willing to buy that time. But if you have no ambition and you have no drive and you out here, you can't be cheating on me and not paying no bills. You can't be out here hanging out with your homies all the time and want me to be able to give you the backbone to the vision. No. But if you are out here really ready to give that hustle and that grind and to really be a part of this union and be a part of this partnership, and you want to see what we can do together to grow each other, because I'm not the best. There's something that you can give me that's going to make me strong.
See, when we're in it for the right reasons, when we're in it for the right reasons, and we can communicate effectively what we need from each other, what we're not getting from each other, and how to work on giving it to each other. Oh, man, that's just a formula for a power couple.
Yeah. And a power couple can make a great difference in a community, because that's what we need to see. That's what young people need to see. It's not just about, oh, that you got the best, you know, Patek on your arm or the best Rolex and
acting. We out here doing what the rappers and stuff like that do because of the media influences a lot.
Yeah, it does. But you can be a difference even in your local community. Y'all can go together and put on a program that's going to help with the youth and help them see, you know, we're married, we're together. We, you know, he didn't have everything when we started. She still was trying to get the business a name. And here we are together because we put the tools together to work it together.
You know, you could be an advocate.
Yes, I do. I am an advocate for Black people.
Yeah.
I am.
What you was just saying is key. Like knowing your purpose as a man, knowing your purpose as a woman, and knowing your purpose together. One thing I said, it ain't about who's the prize. The woman is not the prize. The man is not the prize. The prize is what you produce once you come together. Once you come together, whether it's the kids and how you raise those kids, the businesses, anything that you guys are able to produce is the prize. And like you said, in the community, however, that's where the prize is. You know what I'm saying? Coming together is just the beginning.
Exactly.
What do you create?
Yeah, so I'm just ready for us to, you know, help these people get this balance on this givers and takers.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you got the balance, you know, or you want to hear more on that, hit us a little email, any questions you have. But make sure that you continue to watch us.
Absolutely. And our email is brunchbeautylifepodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, and also if you like what you see, subscribe. Okay, we want you to subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and also follow us on our personal and Brunch Beauty Life Podcast social media. That's us on IG as well. But personally, mine is Naturally Ashley Rowe.
And I am _inspiring_stylist.
Okay, and come see us for the next time.
Until next time.